Good evening. Welcome in Daily UPSC Julie audio program. It's Courage Not Crime Times of India. Co- Quoting the cops always. It's courage not crime the Times of India. Whistleblowers strengthen democracy but face dangers. Give them strong legal protection. Whistleblowers have it though tough across the world. The Supreme Court in Canberra, Australia recently sentenced former Australian Army lawyer David McBride for revealing information about alleged Australian war crimes in Afghanistan. This comes 7 years after Australian public broadcaster ABC published a series of articles based on information provided by McBride. That information was separately confirmed by an Australian government inquiry. However, it was McBride, the whistleblower, who was prosecuted. From false claims to national security, whistleblowing has a checkered history. During the American Civil War, Abraham Lincoln's government enacted the False Claim Act (FCA) to incentivize reporting corruption in military supplies. Interestingly, FCA remains on US statute books in an amended form and has been used over the years in cases related to fraud in military contracts and corruption in the pharma industry. But things get murky. Things get murky when it comes to matters of national security and wrongdoings in militaries. State interest and disciplines are privileged over those those seeking to spotlight internal wrongs. Risky business. Perhaps the most high voltage case of whistleblowing related to war crimes this century was the highlighting of atrocities committed by U.S. Soldiers in Iraq's Abu Dhabi Ghraib prison. The horrific torture was exposed by Sergeant Joseph Derby. Once identified as the whistleblower, he and his family faced harassment and even death threats. Similarly, US NSA contractor Edward Snowden has to flee to Russia for exposing illegal mass surveillance programs. India's paper tiger. India passed a Whistleblower Protection Act in 2014. Ironically, it hasn't been notified to date. In any case, the act has multiple exemptions. It doesn't cover armed forces and is not applicable to the private sector. Nor does it provide financial incentives for whistleblowing like the American FCA. Civil society groups have argued that attacks against RTI activists and whistleblowers have increased in the absence of a legal framework. True, state secrets need to be protected for national security, but this can't be a blanket cover to hide corruption and criminal wrongs. Democracy is strengthened by courageous whistleblowers speaking up for justice. Quoting the cop always. The Supreme Court order in the NewsClick case shows trial court judges are authorizing detentions causally with around 50 lakh arrests a year and thousands of remand application a day. They must apply judicial scrutiny. Naveed Mahmood Ahmad, the writer, is a senior resident fellow at Vidhi Center for Legal Policy. On Wednesday, Supreme Court declared the arrest of Prabir uh, Pur, Purkayas, the founder of NewsClick, illegal and order his release from custody. Purkayas has been in police and judicial custody since October last year in connection with a case under provision of the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 and the Indian Penal Code Act 1860 issue individual rights and national security. Supreme Court declared Purkayast's arrest and subsequent police remand illegal on basis that ground of his arrest were not communicated to him in writing. The court further held that mere filing of the charge sheet would not rectify the illegality and unconstitutionality of the arrest and grant of police custody. The court's order is significant as it recognizes the need for procedural propriety to protect individual liberties even in cases involving national security concern. It is, however, even more crucial for bringing attention to how remand applications are processed by magistrates and law enforcement agencies, effectively obstructing the realization of the fundamental rights guaranteed under Article 21 and 22. Article 22 provides ground of arrest in writing. Article 22 of the Constitution enshrines the right to be informed of the grounds of arrest and to consult and be defended by a legal practitioner of choice. Clause 5 of Article 22 extends this protection to cases of preventive detention, drawing from the protection that Article 22 offers. The Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, UAPA 1967, and other special laws require the arresting officers to inform the arrestee of the grounds of arrest. This is critical to ensure that the arrestee is able to mount a defense, protect their personal liberty, and avoid unnecessary pre-trial detention. Interestingly, these provisions do not mandate the communication of grounds of arrest to be in written form. In this, in fact, was one of the grounds on which the state opposed Purkayast release, a contention the Supreme Court held was untenable in the eyes of law, relying on Supreme Court's judgment in Harikishan versus State of Maharashtra 1962 and Lallubhai versus UOI 1982. The bench underlined the communication of the grounds of arrest in writing is sacrosanct and cannot be breached under any situation. In essence, a detailed and written communication of the grounds of arrest is critical for a fair remand hearing and to realize the purpose of Article 22. Issue, remand and due processes. Supreme Court's scrutiny of the events surrounding Pur- Puk- Purkayastra's arrest and his remand hearing, however, reveals a far more concerning fact about the workings of the criminal justice system. The court noted that the entire process of securing police remand for Purkayas was carried out in a clandestine manner, suggesting an attempt to circumvent due process of law. In fact, the failure on the part of the police to inform Purkayast and his advocate of choice and grounds of arrest and the proposed remand application, as well as the timing of the remand proceedings as early as 6 in the morning at the residence of the remand judge, suggest how investigative agencies may sidestep due process requirements to retain custody of the accused. Trial courts. First line of defense. The remand judge, perhaps the only line of defense in such a situation, failed to acknowledge these concerns and to apply judicial scrutiny, instead mechanically granting police custody for 7 days. Interestingly, this is not the only case in which remand proceedings have been called into question. In fact, Supreme Court itself in Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar 2014 categorically stated that in many cases detention is authorized in a routine, casual, and cavalier manner, grossly affecting the liberty of citizens. To check this practice, Supreme Court in Manubhai Ratilal Patel versus State of Gujarat and others 2013 underscored that the act of directing remand of an accused is a judicial function and that it is obligatory on the part of the magistrate to apply his mind and not to pass an order of remand automatically or in a mechanical manner. Issue, accountability for arrest procedures. With around 50 lakh arrests recorded every year and thousands of remand applications heard by judges every day, the critical nature of this function cannot be overlooked, especially given the overcrowding in prisons nationwide and the minimal protections provided when an accused is in police custody. The Wednesday order of Supreme Court must prompt greater scrutiny of arrest procedures and remand proceedings. It should also foster a renewed emphasis on procedural fairness and accountability within the criminal justice system. Thank you.